Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Age of Empires 3 Tips and Tricks with me, Interjection. This is number 7, and this video is going to be about managing idle settlers. Now, the word idle means doing nothing. So an idle settler would of course be one of these guys right here. Obviously these are bad, you don't want these. No, a successful colony will need all of the resources it can get. So, as you'd expect, top level players almost never have any idle settlers, and when they do, they'll be aware of them mere seconds after they've stopped working. Now that is the most important thing, let's be honest. When a coin mine depletes, or a patch of trees is fully chopped down, or whatever, your settlers will just stop working. Knowing when this happens is probably the most important thing about managing them, and it's also, thankfully, the easiest part, because the game literally tells you when your settlers aren't working. For example, if I take these guys off the coin mine, then in the top left of the screen a banner will appear. Whenever you have an idle settler, this banner will appear. In addition to this, if you go to your options menu and enable show gatherers per resource, then a number will appear here. This is how many settlers which are idle you have right now. The other numbers next to each resource tell you how many settlers are gathering that particular resource. So with this enabled, it means you can simply glance down near your resources and instantly know the state of your entire economy. It's really useful, so I'd highly recommend switching this on from your in-game options menu if you haven't done so already. So yes, all in all, you've got two different visual cues on your screen that let you know when some of your settlers are idle. The number down here is probably more useful, but the banner up here is bigger and easier to notice, so both of them work together to kind of let you know your settlers are idle. Now, with that out of the way, let's discuss 3 different ways that you can manage idle settlers, as in give them new jobs, and top level players will use all of them. The first way is actually the banner we saw earlier. If you click on it, then the game will take you to an idle settler. If you keep clicking on it, then the game will cycle through all of your different idle settlers. The hotkey for this banner is definitely worth remembering. It's the full stop button, or if you're an American user, the period button. It's the same button, it's just differences between English and American English. And yeah, this hotkey can be really useful if, say, you have just 1 or 2 idle settlers you quickly need to jump over to. For example, a settler you're using to shoot animals back towards your town early on in the game that you may have forgotten about. However, if you have several idle settlers, a far more efficient way to find them is to hold shift and click on the idle settler number we saw earlier. Not only will this instantly move your in-game screen to a group of idle settlers, it will also select the entire group, meaning that you won't have to drag a box around them or double click on them or whatever. You can simply just shift click here onto the number and then task whatever settlers are selected to something new. It's easy. It's definitely by far the most efficient way to manage idle settlers. However, there is an easier way. It's for lazy people though, and I wouldn't recommend getting into the habit of using what I'm about to tell you. You can actually select every single idle settler all at once. That's right, all of them. There's a hotkey built into the game for that, at least on the Asian Dynasties expansion pack. By default, that hotkey is Control-Shift-I, but it's probably best to change that to something less awkward to press when you're in a hurry. Now, whilst this sounds like it's the best way to manage idles, it's just not. As I said, it's lazy and can cause you to be inefficient. Why? Because when you select all of your idols all at once and give them all a new task all at once, it's quite likely that you'll make at least some of them walk much further than they actually need to before they can start gathering again. For example, if I tell all of my idols to hunt from this bison herd, then the settlers on the other side of the map over here will have to walk a really long way before they can get to it, meaning a lot of gather time will be wasted walking around. There's plenty of other bison herds closer to them which they could have gathered from instead. Obviously, this also applies to coin mine, woodcutting, just everything. Just don't get into the habit of selecting all of your villagers all at once. I mean, if you're about to go into a micro-intensive battle, or for whatever reason you're unable to pay full attention to your economy, then fine, that's fair enough. By all means, press the Control-Shift-I hotkey. It's quick, it's easy, and it can get you to select all of your settlers amazing, put them back to work. It's definitely better than leaving them idle whilst you're in a fight, but generally speaking, if there aren't any fights going on and you are able to pay attention to your economy and just stuff generally, then managing your idle settlers in groups is definitely much more efficient. Thanks for watching, everybody. Leave a like if you found this video helpful or enjoyed watching it, and do subscribe if you'd like to see more Age of Empires 3 from me. If you have any questions or suggestions, then do leave a comment. I honestly do read every single comment. I'll thumbs up your comment on Google Plus so that you know I've read it, so it appears in your little notifications thing on YouTube. Anyway, thanks for watching, everybody, and I will see you all again next time.